So hello guys, this is me, missmatchablossom, and today this video is a bit of a challenge. I always have my phone on my hands, but today I don't have my phone in my hands. I just have natural lighting right here, if you can tell from my glasses. So I just want to be a little bit more real today. I wanted to wear my hanfu, my new backdrop, because I wanted to go over some happy news, but at the same time, I'm more like, I feel like it's more real for me to kind of tell you guys how I feel right now. It's not a really easy topic for me to discuss, so I hope you can bear with me, but I will put out a disclaimer. Now, my disclaimer here, if you guys do not know, I'm just going to put a disclaimer out here, so hopefully I put like the text somewhere down here. Disclaimer. Disclaimer, I am going to be talking about things that have to do with like sexual assault or harassment and stalking, people that are creepy or peeping toms, and racial like prejudice or colorism in this video. I just want to throw that out there because it has to do with what the title is talking about. I feel the way I feel and why I haven't uploaded as much in the month of March/February. It's been very challenging for me, and I thought, you know, and I'm thinking it's more, I feel like I need to be more honest with you guys why I kind of like pull back on some things and why I don't upload as much. If you hear any barking, it's my dog. He's been very protective lately because of what I'm talking about. So if you need to, get a drink, get some food, because this is a serious topic. I put that disclaimer out there, so if you feel triggered or if you do not feel safe, you know, you can click off the video. I'm not going to force you to watch it, but there's other hanfu videos that I have that are really great content. But this is just something I need to get off my chest. It's just been very difficult for me. And I feel like once you say it out there, it's no longer in control inside of you. So with everything going on in February, after I uploaded that video, I was dealing with some more internal issues. And to kind of give you some backstory without going too far into it, I was still struggling with a lot of things that happened last year. I'm slowly accepting the fact that my dad is gone, but he's not gone from my heart and also not gone from the spirit. Because I always feel like your loved ones, when they pass, they still have the ability to watch over you, even if they're in like another place. They'll have the ability to come down, check on you, or even just look at you. It's just my personal belief, regardless of what religion you're in. That's just what I believe in. It's a struggle on its own. It's like doing different homeworks for me, because I have that I'm kind of working on, and I'm still getting used to the fact that my uncle and my aunt and my dad died within the last 6 months of 2020. And also another thing I've been struggling with, which is like another topic, in the month of November of 2021, I had a friend I was close with like a year and a half prior to this moment, and they all in all sexually, I want to say assaulted / harassed, because they tried to take advantage of me, and I wasn't drinking, I wasn't doing anything. It made me feel uncomfortable, and it brought back some very bad memories of being sexually harassed before when I was a lot younger. And I wasn't happy with it, and I don't normally talk about it with people because it's something I try to block out of my mind. And that's why I'm so protective of who I have in my life and how I show myself to people in the world, because I've been prejudiced for being mixed race and being like the exotic woman, whether it's because I like hanfu culture or nerd culture, like with anime and stuff, or just the fact that I'm mixed race between black and white. People fetishize me for that, even relatives. Anyways, back to what happened. So I've been struggling with what happened with that guy friend, because what happened was they moved into like a place that was 15 minutes away from mine, but I was friends with them. Once again, we never had anything like where we were dating or anything. Unfortunately, it's one of those scenarios where a guy thinks a girl likes him just because they're good friends, and they manipulate them until stuff happens. It literally was one of those moments, and I hate to say that. I mean, because it can happen to girls to guys, you know, vice versa, but this is what happened to me. And it brought back bad memories, and I felt like dirty and disgusting when I went home, because the thing is, luckily they didn't rape me. They did touch me, and I did not feel comfortable with it. I cried all on the way home. This is right after my dad passed, so I was still very emotionally unstable right after my aunt passed, right before my uncle passed. So it was very rough for me. I said 2020 was really rough. It was really rough. And that person kept trying to call me on different phone lines. Like they would actually change their phone number. Editing this can kind of trigger me. So if I don't put the pictures up, please don't hate me for it. It's probably gonna be a little bit hard for me to edit this video altogether. So after he tried to contact me the third time, which was on he changed his number twice. I had to pretend to be a man just to like have him leave me alone during text, and it actually worked. It kind of put me off a bit because I have been that problem before, like harassed and stalked. And I say that because I've had PTSD where one of my ex-boyfriends I was in a relationship with for 6 months did stalk me at my apartment and bother me every other Monday and Wednesday night at 9 o'clock at night and would knock at my door. So that's why my dog, you always hear him barking. He's very overprotective because of that. I mean, that the person who sexually assaulted me, not long before, well actually before that happened, my dog didn't like him and I didn't understand why. Because he seemed like a very genuine person, but that makes more sense. And I hate to say it like that, but it's true. After recovering from that, recently, one of my neighbors who shares a wall with me, I don't really pay attention to people because I try to mind my own business, but I am alert at certain times, especially when things get awkward. He's been really creepy. He used to have a girlfriend because you would hear them argue or have sex, which was really awkward, or like her like arguing on the phone with someone about him because the walls are somewhat thin. And it made me very uncomfortable because I don't know what happened. Maybe in COVID they broke up. I don't know, because I work from home. If you guys don't know, I have a full-time job at a office where we do like medical insurance. It was kind of because I had to bring it home to my apartment because I had nowhere else I could be at, right? He would get mad when I would take my calls because I do a 6 to 3 shift in the morning, and he would like bang on the walls or he'd just be really loud in his apartment, and I would just ignore it because I'm like, whatever. But there were sometimes at night he would get super loud and I would either ignore it and put music on, and normally I can zone out, or immaturely, I'm just gonna call myself out, I did bang on the wall. But that was before this. So I'm gonna zoom up so you guys have a, I'm just gonna skip forward. Recently, within the past 2 months, he kept walking by my bedroom window because that's where my little computer space is for my work, because I have to be in a closed-off facility, like closed-off room where no one can hear me and I can't hear them. He used to walk by my window, and mind you, I don't really have my curtains or my blinds open all the time because I'm very suspicious of that because of a previous incident that I mentioned with the PTSD. And it creeped me out because I was like, why does that person look familiar? And I kept seeing them walk by and it was my neighbor. And I've seen him before when I was on my patio because he's literally on my left-hand side here. He shares that wall in my bedroom. And it creeped me out because I recently got a door cam anyways because one of my neighbors above me had their friends like pull the fire alarm, which is right in front of my apartment door. And I was like, you know what, I'm so tired of this because it would take forever for the fire department to come and turn it down. I was like, I'm gonna get a door cam. I'm so tired of people like banging on my door, like accidentally or some stupid shit. And I just got that, and things went down a bit. So like not as much crazy stuff. But then when this stuff with my neighbor happened, I luckily had the door cam to save me the first time. The second time it made me more scared because the first time he was being loud one night and it was like 11 p.m. Like I normally go to bed 11 or 10:30 because I have to get up in the morning for 6 a.m. my shift. And he was being super aggressively loud, and I was on the phone with my best friend and I was like, what the hell is his problem? He's such a freaking idiot. Because I was so mad already from all the previous stuff I was dealing with. And I was like, I'm just so angry. I was like, can he just shut up? Because it's like, it kept going on for 2 weeks now that he was banging consistently. I was like, I don't know what he's trying to do, but I am so tired of this. It's like past 11. Because normally, if you guys don't know apartment etiquette, you don't make any noise past 11 p.m. Because you can actually get called upon on the police, and that's a noise disturbance. And after a while, if you get enough noise disturbances reports, the apartments actually do get notified and they do kick you out. So that's something that I don't play around with because like after a while I'll ignore you, but if you're being aggressively loud, I'm gonna call the police. My apartment people upstairs have stopped making noise. And I was talking to my friend on the phone and I was like so mad. I was saying like some nasty things and I was like, man, he's just a fucking loser. I just hope he gets a life and just fucking goes somewhere. And he heard me, and I think he took the initiative, which you should never do. He came, because you can hear his door slam, and the creepy part about it is because I'm on the first floor. That should already tell you how you should live on the second floor. I don't have grass in my area. I have pebbles in the area that you would have grass in for. I heard him walk across the groveling part of the stones to go all the way around. He didn't even go on the sidewalk part, which is not that far away from the gravel. He just went over there and then started banging on my door at 11 p.m. So the funny thing about that is I have my door cam, remember? I caught a video of him banging on my door, and I took those pictures and I sent it to, well, actually I called my security slash like 24 hours like maintenance, and I told them what happened. And I also called in the morning the next day and told them what happened as well, because it's just not apartment etiquette. You can actually get in trouble for like going up to people's door randomly. And if you have documentation, which I always tell people, document everything, even if it seems tedious, it'll freaking save your life. It's not just because I'm a female, it's just that stuff can happen to anyone. With that, what happened next was, like, I called the apartment in that morning, and she was like, oh, that's strange, because we had like 2 other people call as well. One of them saying that one person tried to start a fight. And I told her, I was like, yeah, actually in the video that I have of my neighbor banging on my door, because I don't know the apartment unit number, because I don't feel safe enough to go walk over there and check, which I think people forget. With that, I told my apartment people, and I was like, what do I need to do to send it to you? So I emailed them the pictures and the video documents of them like literally coming to my door at 11 p.m. And the best thing about my door cam, if I'm able to show the video, which I'll blur out the faces of the gentleman that was doing that to me. He's not even a gentleman, he's a freaking creeper who did that to me. I'll blur out his face just because I don't want to get sued for slander. He literally just was banging at my door. He looked like he was normal because he got caught on camera, and I'm like, you shouldn't have thought about that. Like, you can, when you see a camera, why do you keep coming at my door and banging? Like, you could have just walked away. But not judging your intelligence, not at all. Not at all. And that did bring up a little bit of PTSD, because it reminded me of my ex who stalked me, made 2 to 3 different Facebooks to harass me. He was really crazy. So it kind of brought back a little bit of that, but I had to control myself. I was like, what should I do? Because like I couldn't be on the phone with anyone because everyone was asleep and no one wanted to talk to me. Thanks a lot, family. And I was scared, and so I just immediately called, and I should have called the police and then went in another room, because then I could have called the police and then documented it, but I didn't think about that during the moment. I just called the office hours and I told him, and I don't know if he heard me or not, but he walked away after that and then went in his room. He might have called the after hours, I don't know, like I did. I don't know. But I know that there was 2 other people who also called when I did, and it did seem like he was yelling at someone in the video to his left-hand side at the same time, like while banging on my door. So I know for sure that I wasn't the only one dealing with that kind of issue. The good thing is, the reason why I'm bringing it up in this video is because I have another camera that's coming in the mail. So that's the only reason why I'm able to bring it up, because before, if I didn't have a camera, I would not even talk about this. It still scares me to where even I still share that wall with that same neighbor, and I'm having another camera come, and it's going to be on my patio for my safety. But I've been sleeping on the couch a lot. My dog knows because he's been cuddling with me. I sleep on the couch lately, like for the past 2-3 weeks now, almost a month, because I don't feel comfortable with what he did. Like, and he still sometimes makes noises, but he tries to like tone it down a little bit. But it still scares me. Why I sleep on my couch as well is because recently, I want to say, because right now it's like April 1st right now, today. On April 29th, which was a Monday recently, I was laughing at something at work, and I was laughing at my computer, and I don't know, he left his house, and I was like, okay, whatever. And I saw someone peeping from my patio, like standing next to the patio, like fencing area of it, like the outside part, looking into my living room from my patio door. And it creeped me out, because I was like, who is doing that? And I looked closer, and it was him, and I was like, oh no, no. As soon as I should have like took a picture right then and there, but I didn't think about it, which I really regret. But I do have a patio cam that's coming, so anytime it's a motion detector one, so like anytime someone's coming, it automatically sees it. No BS. I know it sounds like crazy, like, oh my gosh, you live alone, you shouldn't do that, but like, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, stuff like this can happen to you whether you're 16, 26, 36, 46, 56, or like 96. because people are crazy and you have to protect yourself. And I try to tell that to a lot of my friends because they almost gave me that reason, not all of them, but some people almost give me the reason, well, you shouldn't live alone. I'm like, you can't give that excuse because that just says a woman can't leave you on her own, and that's sexual. That's sexist in a way because a woman can. You just got to be smart like any other person needs to be, whether you're a celebrity or not, or you know what I mean? Like, it goes beyond all terms and labels. You have to be careful when you live alone or when you're living in a new area. You just got to protect yourself. Whether it's by weapons, tasers, guns that are allowed by law, or cameras, you need to protect yourself because people out here are super fucking crazy, and I'm not about that life. And it creeps me out, like to a point where I don't sleep in my bedroom as often. I'll take naps in there, but I've been sleeping on my couch, and I'm gonna do that until I get my camera coming in the mail, because I do not feel safe. I really don't, and I do not trust people enough. The people who I'm close with, it's been very hard just because a lot has happened, and I'm already dealing with enough as it is. The next part I was going to talk about was my cousin. And I won't say which side of the family because I know my family watches YouTube and I don't want them to feel like they have to go out and kill that person. But it has made me feel scared. This cousin is a lot older than me. They could be around the same age as my uncle. And it did scare me to a point because my mother ignored every advance when I told her about how uncomfortable I was about this. And my dad always taught me, if you have something to say, you need to say it and defend yourself. Don't hide. And that's why I always respected my dad and I loved my dad a lot. Recently, my cousin did something that really bothered me. But he has always mentioned my race. He's always asked questions and made jokes about my sexual life or my sexual body, like things you shouldn't say, like about my butt or just about how the way my body is shaped or how my complexion is or how Black women act, even though I'm mixed race, but I'm not even gonna go down that road. It was something you shouldn't say to a family member. Like, for instance, last Thanksgiving, he made a comment about my butt. Oh, it looks like your mother's butt. And I'm like, that's disgusting. You should not say that and say it that close to me. And you're almost the same age as my father, which is disgusting. And not to mention a lot of facts where he made jokes about my sexual life or trying to oh, do you do this kind of freaky stuff? It's not okay. It's not okay whatsoever. That's not a joke at all. Just because you find it funny doesn't make it a joke. If the other person is laughing or you know they're not going to consent to it, why should you even say it? So recently we celebrated my great-grandmother's birthday at a seafood restaurant, and we're split apart, because of lockdown. We were sitting there. It was me, my mother, and her husband in one of the areas, and I guess that cousin came by, and literally was like, oh, hi, and I was like, oh, hey, and he basically jumped on me while giving me a hug, but it was unconsented because he literally came in and was like, hey, and then the part that made me uncomfortable was the fact that he took his left arm and grappled around my neck while he was hugging me with his right arm super close without my consent. And I didn't feel comfortable. And this was while I was inside of the booth of the whole table. And I was like, dude, get off of me. And I kept punching him and slapping him in his stomach and his chest because I was not feeling comfortable. And everybody was just watching like it's a joke. And I was like, and he's like, what's your problem? I was like, don't do that to me. I don't like people touching me. I didn't like you making fun of me before. Don't do this. I don't appreciate that. Instead of just saying I'm sorry, I didn't mean to come across that way, and actually just talking it out, he started making it my problem and started making me feel like I was at fault. My mother didn't help in this regard. So what happened with that was she just sat there and just watched everything. And when I did tell her about what my cousin said, she's like, oh, you're acting like you've never been teased before. And I was like, you heard what he said. She told me, oh yeah, I heard it. I was like, well, why didn't you defend me? Why didn't you stand up for me? If someone's talking about my body like that and making me uncomfortable, shouldn't you be my parent and stand up for me? And that's how I knew, and by the way, I grew up without my mother in my life. A lot of things she did not teach me, like periods or tampons or how you need a yeast infection medicine. All of that I had to learn on my own, even sexual things, normal female things. I was really scared and I was upset because I was sitting there in the seafood restaurant telling them, they're like, oh, well, you should calm down. Don't make such a big, don't make a scene. And I was like, no, I'm not okay with this. You can't attack a grown woman and basically glump her. If you don't know that, go Google it. Basically an attack hug on me and in booth seating and I'm not comfortable with it. And he's like, well, you didn't tell me when your sister was in town. I was like, I don't have to tell you anything. And if she didn't want to visit you, that's not my fault. You don't need to attack me and say all this stuff and this is what I get. No, I'm not okay with that. And he kept trying to validate it, saying like, oh, well, why are you acting like that? Can I just talk to my cousin, which was my mother? Now you know. And I was like, you can talk to her, but you can stand right over there. You don't need to attack and hug me and sit next to me like we're friends. I don't appreciate this, and I don't like you doing this to me. I do not feel comfortable. And I had to keep repeating that because he's like, well, can I just do it? Can I just do it? I'm like, this is a grown man who's older than me, by the way. And at this point, I was feeling very uncomfortable and very upset because then my mom, because on this day, I happened to get my cycle, which is my period. My mom thought she could just stick up and say, oh, well, she's not feeling well because she's on her cycle. But before she even said that, to be honest with you, I cut her off and I said, don't you say that. That's not a validation why I'm angry. I'm angry because you should not attack a woman with a hug like that at all. Like, I'm not comfortable with it. And if I'm not comfortable with it, I have a right to speak up for myself. And anyone does. I do not appreciate people who do that and think it's consensual because you think it's consensual. Just because you're family. No, you still respect their body, respect their consent, respect their space. With this, he just felt the need to be like, oh, well, you're just saying, he goes, you better be quiet because, like, you're making a lot of noise, you know, and they know what they do to colored people. And I got super angry. I was like, you know what? The line is drawn. You literally have rage. You've reached the rage mode. Activate your seatbelt because I'm about to tear that crap off. I was so mad at this point because I was like, you know what? I am tired of race being such an issue. And it's been an issue since I've grown up on both sides of my family. And I am livid. I was like, I don't give a freak that they think I'm colored. I was like, you're colored too, but you just pass off for being more of a privileged color than I do, and I will not tolerate it. Mind you, the waitress was fucking scared out of her wits. I feel so bad for that woman. She was just like looking at me like putting down my tea because I asked for hot tea. And I was like, thank you, ma'am. Then I went back to rage mode on him and I was like, you will never do that. And I told him, I was like, I'm a grown woman. I am 28 years old. You do not need to come at me and attack me, lumping people and attack hugging people when you feel it's consensual, and then try to make it their fault and then say, oh, you need to stop acting crazy because you're colored. What the fuck is wrong with you? Pardon my French, guys. I don't, let me get my drink. All right, I gotta get my comfort drink. I have ginger ale because like, it just calms me down. Don't fall. Don't judge me, guys. I need my ginger. I know I'm making everything a joke and I'm like kind of passing it off, but deep down I do get nervous and I do get scared. I don't like people to know that. I don't appreciate that and I do not acknowledge that whatsoever. We are far from it. We're strong women. The reason why I bring this up is because it scared me and I didn't want to be in public with that cousin anymore because it's gotten to a point where there were so many like uncomfortableness where he would mention, like I said before, about like my sexual history, trying to make jokes about it, like, oh, what do you do about this? And all the other bad stereotypes about women in bed that are black. And I'm like, you know what? I can't. Let me drink this because I'm about to just lose my mind. It just was unbelievable. So with that, I just haven't been as safe or as comfortable to upload as much. I did get this new backdrop and then like my chair that came in the mail yesterday because I wanted to be more comfortable while I was editing. And I recently got scammed on a video editor system that I bought off of Amazon. So I'll if I can, I'll try to update you guys on if I have my camera that's coming in. And it's funny because here's a funny note. I mean, it's kind of funny because this happened to me today. I was working and I noticed some of the leaf blowers that normally go down our hallways, whatever, out of the way. I guess they got upset because I have a door cam now. And it's easy for me to access through my phone to see things and see who's coming through, and also where I can send information in case like documenting things. But other than that, I do have the good news about this. I have some hanfu coming in the mail. It's probably my last little hanfus that I'm gonna get from AliExpress for a while. I did have one review that I had from a while back that I didn't know I had. And so I'm gonna post it onto YouTube when I can. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you like to support my channel, please go ahead and hit the like, and do not forget to subscribe to this channel with the bell notification. it lets YouTube know that there are people who are interested in my channel and know more about Hanfu information. And I do have more Hanfu videos coming up that are sewing videos. I just have not finished sewing because of everything that's happened that I told you about in this video. But thank you guys so much for watching. I do appreciate you being there for me. I normally don't talk about this, and I wasn't going to talk about it initially, but you guys made me feel so comfortable in being myself that it makes me feel like I can do anything in this world. Oh my gosh, I'm burping. The ginger ale's getting to me. Oh no, I need to drink water. Do not forget to watch some of my other videos, and I'll see you ladies and gents later. Blossoming out.